Really appreciate your presence this morning at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs Molokaʻi Board of Trustee meeting. Today is Thursday, June 19th. It is 9:34 in the morning, and we'd like to welcome our trustees, and we'll do a roll call so we can establish quorum and begin today's agenda. So Lehua Itokazu, Board Secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Ahuna is excused. Trustee Akaka. Trustee Akina. Trustee Alapa.
Present.
Trustee Galuteria is excused. Trustee Lindsay.
Here.
Trustee Souza. Trustee Waihe'e.
Present.
Chair Kahele.
Present.
And Trustee Akina.
Who'll be joining us in a few minutes.
We have 6 trustees. You have quorum.
Okay, great. All right, this meeting can be viewed via live stream on OHA's website at www.oha.org/livestream. Next, we'd like to go into introductions. And for those of you that weren't here last night, I want to make sure we give a chance for all of our trustees to introduce themselves and their staff. We have Trustee Akina with us, and so we'll start with him. Trustee Akina, you're recognized.
Aloha kakahiaka, everyone. I'm Trustee at Large, Keli'i Akina. Just delighted to be here on Molokai again. And what a wonderful turnout and testimony last night from so many members of your community. We appreciate your mana'o. I'm also here today with Karina Lee, my staff member, somewhere here. Look forward to hearing your mana'o this morning. Aloha.
Mahalo, Trustee Akina. And now I'd like to recognize Trustee Kalehikina Akaka.
Mahalo. Aloha no, aloha kakahiaka kako. Mahalo for joining us this morning. It's so nice to see our Maui Nui, but Molokai community here. I'm Kalea Kaka, and I'm honored to serve as the OHA Oahu trustee. Joining me today is my Kaka team member Nathan Takeuchi there, as well as my Ohana over there. Mahalo again to our Molokai Lanai trustee Alapa for making all of this possible, as well as her team, the Molokai team, administration, chair's office, and so forth. It's always great to be able to be within the community so we can hear what's working, maybe where can improve, and how we can work best together and collaborate. But we look forward to hearing your testimony so we can get a better understanding of what's going on here and how within our ability we can work with you all. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Trustee Akaka. Next, Trustee Keone Souza.
Hey, good morning. Aloha mai kako, Keone Souza, Vice Chair, as well as ILM Chairperson. I'd like to introduce Rochelle Kim, my aide, and it is always a pleasure to be here on Molokai, especially for those of you who repeatedly come to our community meetings and share your concerns. Like Alapa said yesterday, we're listening. We're having side conversations and follow-ups. We just had one now on kupuna housing and certain things, and we look forward to continuing those conversations and making progress. So mahalo nui.
Mahalo, Trustee Souza, and Trustee for Molokai, Trustee Alapa.
Okay. Aloha. Good morning, everyone. I am Molokai Lanai Trustee Luana Alapa, and proud to introduce my 2 trustee aides, Pohai Ryan, well, there she is. Thank you very much, Pohai, and Summer Soares. Thank you both ladies for all your support and help. It does take a team to pull this community meetings together, and can't do it alone. Just wanted to make a mention about yesterday's grand opening. It was amazing for those who were able to make it. I hope those who haven't been down to see the new office renovations are complete. After 9 long months that we've been closed, we finally open up and start to serve our beneficiaries. So please come on down. We'll be open from 8 to 4:30 and welcome you folks. We'll have a wonderful time here at our morning meeting. Here we go.
Mahalo, Trustee Alapa. Next, introduce our Chair Emerita, Carmen Hulu Lindsay from Maui.
Aloha mai kako. So nice to be back here in Molokai and to see some of you once again and meet new friends. I'd like to introduce my aide that is accompanying me on this trip. I believe she's Pohailani Kealoha over on that side. Pohai, raise your hands. Mahalo. And thank you for joining us this morning, because we know you got other things to do, but to come and share your mana'o with us, we really appreciate that. So, mahalo.
Mahalo, Trustee Lindsay, and now Trustee Wahe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Aloha mai kako, Molokai. Thank you so much for coming out. It's a joy to be here, as it always is. And I'm Trustee John Wahe the fourth, Trustee at large. And joining me is my aide, Crane Akina, who's out there in the back. Again, mahalo.
Mahalo, Trustee Wahe. Now I'd like to introduce the Chief Executive Officer of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs at Kapuahana, Stacy Ferreira, for Stacy to introduce her team and administrative staff that are here to support us this morning. Stacy.
Mahalo, Chair, Vice Chair, Trustees. Aloha kakahiaka kako. Thank you so much for your time spending it with us this morning. We are anxiously awaiting not just the presentations, but also the mana'o and ike that you'll be sharing with us. I want to introduce the administration team that has joined us today. I'm going to ask them to please stand and wave. First off, we have Kehau Pu'u, our Chief Operating Officer. We have Mahalo. Ku'ike Kamakeo Ohelo, our Director of Iwi Wellbeing, and Aina Momona. Wow, got the fan base over here. All right, and then we have Lisa Vaughn Sekona, Director of Community Engagement. We have Royce Campbell, our Operations Manager, right there in the corner. We have Kevin Chalk, our Senior Systems Administrator. Jason Lees, our Multimedia Designer. And we have Anake Lucy Meyer, our Genealogy Ancestry Specialist, back there. And we have Malu Lani Kimaka, our Molokaʻi Beneficiary Services Agent.
Mahalo, Stacy. Our next item on the agenda is actually going to be our CEO Kapuahana Molokai Community Report and update on OHA's activities. Lehua, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this?
Yes, we have one person. We have Keo Mailani Hanapihi Ratha.
Oh, great. Aloha. Hi, Keo Malani.
Aloha, Aina kako.
Aloha.
I didn't know I was gonna speak first, but okay. So mahalo for coming to Molokai. I will be speaking. I signed up to testify again later on. But I wanted to testify specifically for this report. I was here last year, and I pretty much get the same message from last year about your folks' island report. You write things that are untrue. And so let me highlight them. On page 3, Molokai Island Burial Council vacancies. The way that this is written is almost as if our people on Molokai, you devalue our kuleana. You devalue and disrespect who we are. You write it as if we cannot awamo our kuleana for our iwi kupuna with or without a full quorum on the burial council. I do not appreciate the language that is written in here, because to disrespect us, you disrespect our ancestors. And language like, for over 2 years, the council has been unable to achieve quorum, rendering it incapable of making essential decisions regarding the treatment and protection of Native Hawaiian burials. That is absolutely 100% not true. Had OHA taken the time, like I suggested last year and the year before, and our trustee that represents us to come talk story with us, the people who awamo this kuleana, we train the Molokai Police Department, we train all the large landowners, we sit at the table with them. We may not agree with who they are and what they represent, but from east to west, our kuleana on Molokai, because we do not get the support of the State Historic Preservation or OHA for that fact, we have to do all of the heavy lifting and the work ourselves. To carry that kaumaha and eha is very, very hard. However, we do it because this is our ancestors. We wouldn't be here without them. And so when you write things like this, it's untrue. Everyone who's a part, we have a small island. We're 32 miles long and 10 miles wide. And so when you write something like this in here, that's not the only one now. Without even taking the time to get to know who we are and what we do. So in educating large landowners, in educating the Molokai Police Department, the Dole Care Officer, we only get one Dole Care Officer on this island, the State Historic Preservation Office, and all the efforts that we do. The police department, they're not even allowed to leave the site if an iwi kupuna comes up. They have to participate in cultural protocols with us. The dispatch for the police department knows who to call if something comes up. And we take care of the kuleana whether we have a quorum or not. None of our iwi kupuna leaves this island. We have no kupuna sitting in one box in one closet anywhere on this island because we refuse to allow that to happen. We malama the kuleana and we go home. That is what we do. The other thing that's written inside here, it says, OHA is deeply concerned about the vacancies on the Molokai Island Burial Council, which have prevented the council from fulfilling its critical role in protecting iwi kupuna. Again, absolutely not true. So there is the laws, the Chapter 6E laws. There is also the federal laws on how to protect our iwi kupuna, our cultural, historical, and our burial sites. We all are intimately aware of exactly what the laws are, and we know how to be creative. Just because we don't have a quorum on a burial council does not mean that the work stops. Progress, development, grading, and grubbing does not stop just because no more burial council. So we have to continue to be creative and continue to do the work. That is why we put in a lot of effort to work with the large land, and not one of them give us any resistance when we have. So I'm going to ask again for like the third year in a row that please do not write things like this because you disrespect us. Come talk story with us, get to know, make the time to get to know what we actually do. That's it. Mahalo.
Thank you so much. Anyone else was signed up? None. Okay, let's go to Stacy now, who will give her an opportunity to present the Molokai report.
Yeah.
Mahalo, Stacy.
Mahalo, Chair. Actually, before I jump into the report, I just wanted to recognize Kaveni Ibarra. He's one of our other team members, and Kalamai Kaveni, he's all the way back there. I wanted to make sure that we introduced him. He is our compliance enforcement manager, and he is located on Hawaii Island. So, mahalo. Okay, so I wanted to share just a little bit of an excerpt from our Island Community Report regarding Molokai. It is on the table when you walked in. If you didn't grab it, please feel free to pick one up on your way out. But I wanted to focus on OHA's funding activities in Molokai. And so OHA offers a variety of personal and business loans designed to support the financial well-being of Native Hawaiians. These loans can be used for purposes such as consolidating debt, covering educational expenses, making home improvements, or addressing personal emergencies. To assist our beneficiaries with housing stability, OHA has 12 active Malama home improvement loans with a total disbursement of over $261,000. Additionally, we are addressing the economic challenges of our beneficiaries, and OHA has currently 9 debt consolidation loans with a total disbursement of over $141,000. OHA dispersed nearly $14.2 million in funds to 15 grantees providing services on Molokai that range from supporting educational services for Kaiapuni students and Ohana, funding Olelo Hawaii programming, to supporting health education, place-based programming, and supporting child abuse prevention. Of the 15 OHA grantees servicing Molokai beneficiaries, 5 are exclusive to Molokai at over $3 million in total funds dispersed. With a focus on OHA's Mana'i Mauliola education strategic outcomes, and they were a presenter last night, one of the exclusive Molokai grants was awarded to Ho'okāko'o Corporation, a nonprofit organization that manages and supports the Kuala Pu'u Public Charter School. They're the only charter school and Hawaiian language immersion program for elementary students on Molokai. And the award of $350,000 over 3 years will be for the Ho'okahua project, which will fund teacher licensures and the development and expansion of kumu supports to provide differentiated instruction through kindergarten to 2nd grade in Hawaiian language medium early education for Native Hawaiian keiki, of whom are expected to achieve 70% proficiency rating in academic and language acquisition assessments. And lastly, addressing OHA's strategic health outcomes, an exclusive Molokai grant of $240,000 over 2 years was awarded to another presenter last night, the Molokai Child Abuse Prevention Pathways,
for the prevention of child sexual violence. And this program aims to educate close to 600 Native Hawaiian youth, pre-K through 12th grade, on how to recognize, prevent, and report child sexual violence. Mahalo, Chair.
Thank you so much, Stacy. Okay, we're gonna go to our new business, and before starting and recognizing one of our presenters.
Excuse me, can I just, on the same
I'm
subject
sorry.
matter?
Yeah, go ahead.
But a hearing of the testimony that was shared previously, asking if our Molokaʻi representative can talk more fully with our Island Burial Councils so that we can work on how we can go forward and properly and all of this, not just the wording, but how we can best work together to see what makes sense, because our kuleana, it remains the same. EV is one of the top tier of what our priorities are, and we want to make sure that we are on the same page and in alignment, and that whichever island it is, whichever burial council, that we are able to work together and be that representative for those physically with us and those that are now passed. So I just want to let you know that that is the ask that we're going to do, and that we can work together with you folks better. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Trustee Akaka. Okay, next item on our agenda is ratifying our sponsorships. For those that are here, like our Kapohana spoke about, OHA appropriates at least in the last budget cycle, a little over $500,000 a year to our Hoa Koa community sponsorships. These sponsor events all over the state. Like Kapohana mentioned, we just, OHA was a main sponsor for the Kamehameha Day celebration that happened down at Heroes at the Molokai Hotel. So we were a proud sponsor of that, as well as everything that you would think of, from the Council of Native Hawaiian Advancement Convention to the Merry Monarch Hula Festival to the Prince Lot Hula Festival, Keiki Hula, Onipa'a celebrations, and on and on. And so what we're going to do right now is take some board action on approving and authorizing these Hoa Koa sponsorships. And I'm going to recognize Chair of our Budget and Finance Committee, Loana Lapa, to read the action item for these sponsorships.
Thank you. Your Committee on Budget and Finance, having met on May 28, 2025, and after full and free discussion, recommends approval of the following motion. The Board of Trustees, action item B, BF number 25-40, approval of OHA funding for a Ho'akuakua Lahu event sponsorship part Young of Heart Workshop Honua Society for the 2025 Ho'eu Mana event on July 26th through the 27th in 2025 in the amount of $11,250.
Second.
Can we have a second? Any discussion, trustees? Okay, hearing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Ahuna is excused. Trustee Akaka. Trustee Akina.
Aye.
Trustee Alapa.
Aye.
Trustee Galuteria is excused. Trustee Lindsay.
Aye.
Trustee Souza.
Aye.
Trustee Waihe'e.
Yes.
Chair Kahele.
Aye.
You have 7 yes votes.
Mahalo. Item number C, action BF 25-41, approval of OHA funding for the Ho'akoa Lahu event sponsorship to Big Island Substance Abuse Council for the 2025 Summer Jam event on July 26, 2025 in the amount of $11,250.
Second.
We have a second. Trustees, discussion. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Ahuna is excused. Trustee Akaka. Trustee Akina.
Aye.
Trustee Alapa.
Aye.
Trustee Galuteria is excused. Trustee Lindsay.
Aye.
Trustee Souza.
Aye.
Trustee Waihe'e.
Yes.
Chair Kahele.
Aye.
You have 7 yes votes.
Okay, Trustee Lapa.
Action item D, BF 25-24, approval of OHA funding for the Ho'akoa Lahu event sponsorship to Hiki Ola for the amount of, for the 2025 Ola Kala'leile workshop event on August 20 through 30th, 2025 in the amount of $4,100.
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Trustees, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Ahuna is excused. Trustee Akaka. Aye. Trustee Akina.
Aye.
Trustee Alapa.
Aye.
Trustee Galuteria is excused. Trustee Lindsay.
Aye.
Trustee Souza.
Aye.
Trustee Wahehe,
Yes.
Chair Kahele.
Aye.
You have 7 yes votes.
Okay, and the final event to support the Onipa'a celebration in September of this year, Trustee Akaka. Alapa, excuse me.
Action item E, BF 25-43, approval of OHA funding for the Ho'akoakoa Lahu event sponsorship to Hawaii Pono'i Foundation for the 2025 Onipa'a celebration event on August 31st through September 26th in the amount of $15,000.
Second.
Trustee Wahe seconds. Trustees discussion. Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Trustee Ahuna is excused. Trustee Akaka. Trustee Akina.
Aye.
Trustee Alapa.
Aye.
Trustee Galutaria is excused. Trustee Lindsay.
Aye.
Trustee Souza. Trustee Wahehe.
Yes.
Chair Kahele.
Aye.
You have 7 yes votes.
Okay, mahalo lehua. And so before moving on, those are our Ho'akoakoa event sponsorships. I wanna, and the trustees, would like to acknowledge and mahalo our Chief Operations Officer, Kehao Pu'u. Kehao, if you can raise your hand, because her and her team manage hundreds of thousands of dollars of sponsorships. And so like the Kamehameha Day sponsorship, if there is a event that you feel is important in your community, or you have a nonprofit that you feel has an important mission or cause to our beneficiaries, please go see Kehao, because she can explain today what the Ho'akoakoa sponsorship program is like, which is also on OHA's website. Okay, we the rest of our agenda, we're going to recognize Uncle Walter Riddy and Aina Momona to do a presentation to the Board of Trustees. And following that presentation, trustees, we can engage in discussion if trustees have questions. And then after Uncle Walter's and Aina Momona's presentation, then we're going to go to community concerns. And this is another opportunity for anyone that would like to share a community concern in front of the Board of Trustees, the opportunity to do so. If you would like to speak or say a few words, please see Lehua. Lehua, raise your hand. Lehua is right here. And if you'd like to sign up for a community concern, you can see Lehua and sign up, and we'll give you up to 5 minutes to share your mana'o and your community concern. So once Uncle Walter and his team at Aina Momona get set up, we will recognize Uncle Walter, and we really look forward to this presentation. And Uncle Walter, I see you brought everybody. The whole team. Okay.
We get some guys shy.
So the next item on our agenda, trustees, is item number 4, and it's to recognize Aina Momona, and specifically the Ahupua'a restoration. And the trustees would like to recognize Uncle Walter Riddy, who is the executive director emeritus of Aina Momona, and no stranger to the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, because Uncle Walter holds the distinction as being one of the first trustees ever elected to the Office of Hawaiian Affairs in 1979, and was seated as a trustee in 1980 with 8 other trustees representing this island, and all the things that you've done for our Lahui and our Hawaiian community. So at this time, Uncle Walter, before we go to Aina Momona, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this? Okay, fantastic. Uncle Walter, welcome. Mahalo for joining us, and time is yours.
Okay, so yes, I got elected one of the first trustees, and my second term got kicked out. Wasn't able to get across the message to the rest of the trustees and to the state of Hawaii about Molokai. So today we're here to try and figure out how to get that message out in a clearer way and in a way where we don't get into too much trouble. So the first message I'd like to get out to the trustees is that Molokai has gone through some really interesting transitions. We started off with our generation with Barbara. Is Barbara's here, same generation. And we were like trying to figure out the system. So we got into a lot of hot water in those days because we didn't quite understand how the system worked. So we went through a lot of trials and tribulations. And Molokai is the way it is today because we were trying our best to protect what we felt was needed protection. So I'm sure you guys travel to all of the different islands and you guys recognize how different Molokai is. So the purpose for us here today is to let you guys know that Barbara and I and our generation, we were like hardcore trying to figure out how to protect. So this generation that sits in front of you now is ready to implement. And that's going to be really important because they're going to need a lot of help to do that. And they're going to explain to you guys today what they're doing. So I wrote some notes down and it's just going to be too long to say those notes. So what I'm going to do now is start off with, there's four organizations that sit before you. And I want to start off by talking about going from defense to offense. So all the guys from Aina Momona, please raise your hand so we can know who is who. So these are all the young guys that are now trying to figure out how to keep all of the soil that's going and killing our reefs to stay up on the ahupua'a. And the goal is to figure out how to do that and then go out and have a workforce development program so we can do that along the shoreline, the whole south shore of Molokai, because our reefs are dying because of the mud that is coming down on our reefs. So we didn't know exactly what to do, but we were really active. And Kai Kahele helped us out a lot by getting us some federal funds to keep us going. So we want to create those kinds of jobs. And I want, Kai, thank you very much for what you did, because after you left, Trump came in, and now we're in deep kimchi. But he couldn't get rid of those monies that you sent because he came in too late. So we're using those funds. I'm going to cut it really short because I wanted to introduce a couple of them real fast. At the end, what's your job? So she's our farm manager because we're not only going to grow food, but we're going to make sure that we stop all of that soil from coming down by planting trees in the whole ahupua'a. So she has a huge job in front of her. Right. Okay, next one.
Aloha. The carpenter on Aina Momona.
He's the carpenter that's building up all the things that we need, especially for Lana and getting her plants up in the mountains. Okay, next.
Aloha, my name is Laiva Hivariti. I'm pretty much same thing. Wherever need help, I'm there. It's another limahana on the farm.
Can you tell everybody where you just graduated from?
I just got my bachelor's in archaeology at the Willamette University in Oregon. So I'm just home for the summer, just enjoying it.
Okay, next.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kamaki Manangan. I know area.
He's the one that had to learn how to do the chainsaws and all of the work that actually, in the end, you're sweating. And that's the hardest lesson we're trying to get out to all of the young people, is that it's okay to sweat. You're not going to get sick or die if you sweat. Okay, next.
Aloha. Uriti, Executive Director of Aina Momona.
So he's my son. He's trying to take over, and I'm giving him a bad time leaving. But sooner or later, they're going to get rid of me. Okay, next.
Jack Morgan, just helper of planting allows plants from the nursery up into the mountain.
Right on. So Jay is the one that is responsible for us to get water up the mountain because there's no water in our ahupa on the mountains. And how do you get enough water out there to replant the whole mountain? So that's going to be a really interesting job.
My name is Kahekili Pakala, Native Resource Technician. I'm on the Kalaniwa.
So this guy was there before we was really doing anything. When he was a really young one, we had a school at Kiawanui. And I remember him because we took everybody down to the ocean and we were all doing our thing down at the ocean. I turned around and my Jeep was gone. How old he was? How old he was? He was 11 years old and I couldn't find my Jeep because he took my Jeep and went into the mountain with my Jeep. And then now he's working with us. Who else? Okay, I just wanted to introduce to you because it's important that the Molokai young people have something else in their minds besides protesting. They're actually doing things. So I'm going to still have to do the protesting, but the young guys over here are going to be doing the building. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do now is cut it short right there. And who's next on the agenda?
Here, and
Okay,
then
so-
let me introduce Tihani. Uncle, she gonna take your mic, Tihani. Yeah. So the purpose of all us sitting together, even though on the agenda it says Aina Momona, is we're really interested in showing you a really innovative, offensive approach of community building that includes Aina Momona and other organizations sitting here. And we wanted to weave for you the cohesive efforts that's being made to accomplish goals and strategies that really benefit our island independently while still working towards being one ohana. And it's been really successful. And each of us have a small little presentation of what we've been doing. And again, our effort is to sit with Aina Momona and clearly define out what's being done and how much more can be done if we get your support.
Aloha mai kako. My name is Tihani Ka'alekahi, and I'm honored to represent Sustainable Molokai. I put my things in writing because I wanted to honor your time, so I kalamai for reading from my phone. We are proud to stand in unity today with our fellow Lahui builders, Aina Momona, Hui Okuapa, and Molokai Heritage Trust. While each of our organizations bring a unique kuleana, we are aligned in purpose to restore balance between our Lahui and our Aina, and to do so in a way that honors the legacy of our kupuna and prepares the way for our mo'opuna. Aina Momona and Hui Okuapa exemplify this purpose through their work in Aina stewardship and the perpetuation of traditional practices. They educate, uplift, and empower our Lahui through Aina-based learning, cultural preservation, and ecosystem healing. Their efforts remind us that when we care for our Aina will care for us. At Sustainable Molokai, we believe food and energy sovereignty are foundations of community well-being. We envision a Molokai that is 100% food secure and powered by 100% renewable, locally sourced energy. We are helping lead this transition from the ground up, literally, by operating a mobile market and food hub that connects over 60 local farmers to our broader community. Our goal is to expand this mobile food hub into a permanent food bank, one that strengthens food sovereignty on Molokai while also serving as critical infrastructure in times of emergency and recovery. By supporting our farmers through aggregation, technical assistance, and food distribution, and facilitating island-wide renewable energy planning to ensure our transition to clean energy is locally driven and pono, not imposed from the outside. Our mission is deeply rooted in collaboration. We work with many others who share our vision, and we design programs that respond to community need, with the intention that those programs grow into independent, thriving entities. In this way, we act as a kukua root system, nourishing good ideas and good people until they can stand on their own. A beautiful example of this is the Molokai Heritage Trust, which began as a vision cultivated within sustainable Molokai. Today, they stand strong in their own right, carrying forward sacred kuleana to steward our land, culture, and community. This isn't just infrastructure, it's cultural restoration. We are carrying forward the systems our kupuna knew, that when we malama the land, it will feed us, heal us, and empower us. We know that division weakens our people. Our unity honors the truth that Molokai has always been strongest when grounded in aloha aina and collective kuleana. To the board, to the OAHA Board of Trustees, we extend our aloha and our request. Stand with us. Help us carry this work forward through funding, advocacy, and partnership to realize a future where Molokai is not only surviving, but thriving as a model of Aina Momona for Hawaii and beyond. Mahalo nui. Did Matt send you a video?
Ua he ina kuai Molokai. Launea I ke kula ho'ole huala kapalili I kalahi o kalahu papa.
The island of Molokai is celebrated today for its rich cultural traditions, unique island lifestyle, and pristine natural environments. For the past 40 years, Molokai residents have fought to
Ua he ina kuai Molokai Launea I ke kula ho'ole huala kapalili I kalahi o kalahu papa.
The island of Molokai is celebrated today for its rich cultural traditions, unique island lifestyle, and pristine natural environments. For the past 40 years, Molokai residents have fought to protect their island from the threats of overdevelopment, resource depletion, and economic exploitation.
This island is a very special island. We live here by choice, not because we have to or because there's good jobs, but by choice. We love this island. And then we have these outside forces coming in and they want to change everything.
We had the advantage of seeing what was Waikiki. We knew what was happening in Lahaina, all of this uncontrolled development.
It's up to us as a people to speak for our today. Let us all be focused for our land, our ocean, and for the children that are not here yet.
For decades, Molokai fueled the Native Hawaiian movement as a center for community-based environmentalism, resource preservation, and cultural restoration.
Let the games begin!
While the Molokai community has long been criticized for sacrificing economic growth in exchange for protection of environment and way of life, today the tables have turned. Neighboring islands are now facing the consequences of severe resource depletion.
Everybody sees that we're highly dependent in Hawaii on imported goods, that our water supplies are running lower than they ever have been, that the climate is changing and people are looking for answers.
Molokai is now positioned to chart the way forward for the planet by developing new models of sustainability based on the indigenous wisdom of ancient Hawaii.
Lettuce, cabbages.
He ui maoli no ke ia aina la e honi nei a loko o ka pu'uwai mana pai a la o hina Ne aku I ke kula a umoa ula haku ko I ka vai ai ai ina pali a he vai hui ke pili mai ka ili pe Molokai nui ai
We all know that we have kuleana here, but we try to always stay connected and know where we come from and what this place had before we came here and try and bring it back to that lifestyle.
Aloha mai kākou, o wau o maile na ehu. I have been an educator for the last 25 years. I began my career in Lahaina. I'm a Lahaina girl at Kamehameha III Elementary on Front Street in the Kupuna program. I then progressed as my son enrolled at Punana Leo Lahaina. They said, hey, we need kumu. We know you can olelo. And so I was pushed into this kuleana that I wasn't quite ready for, but was meant to be. And it mapped out the pathway of the rest of my life, really. I became an immersion teacher at Punana Leo and then Kula Kaiapuni. And then I continued on, met this guy, moved to Molokai. And we decided to live off grid in Honolulu Valley and walk the talk. I had chosen a pathway that I wasn't quite completing because I wasn't living what I was teaching. And so this allowed me a great insight and working in Kula Kaiapuni on Molokai as well. And then I moved on to work with Ke Pu'u for literacy instruction and support at Kamehameha schools. And we supported different DOE schools on Molokai in fulfilling areas of Hawaiian education. When we had our last baby, I decided to stay home and spend more time and be a mother. And so I started to consult and get private contracts with the schools on Molokai. And I saw what I already knew was there was a great need for teachers to feel competent in the areas of teaching Hawaiian concentrated areas of studies. Not only that, but being able to teach all subjects through a Hawaiian lens. And that is something that I had become quite good at. And so I thought, you know, maybe I can start servicing the schools in this way. Well, COVID happened. And so I quickly had to shift gears, pivot, and I started to create virtual courses and materials through, we are the only non-profit that's sitting amongst the group here today. We're a small Ohana-owned business. And in 2020, we founded Kahale Hoaka. Kahale Hoaka, we offered a free Olelo Hawaii course for over the first 2 weeks of COVID lockdown. And within 2 days, we had 700 Ohana that signed up. Not just Molokai, because we switched to virtual. This was Ohana in Hawaii and around the planet. And I saw a great need that we could fulfill. And so Kahale Hoaka in the last 5 years has grown up to 16,000 students in Hawaii and worldwide. We are one of the main curricula that is used in Kanuoka Aina School. We are also in over 16 schools throughout Hawaii. We're using the College of Education at UH as well. And we do private consulting, we do PDs, we do all of those things. The most recent PD that we did was in March, and I wanted to mahalo all of you because OHA was one of our main sponsors. It allowed us to bring 70 teachers in from around Hawaii to the Bishop Museum for 3 days and intensively train them in these areas so they feel more confident about teaching Hawaiian things. So I just wanted to share a little bit about what we've accomplished as a small family-owned company, living totally off-grid, by the way, and producing all of this curricula for Hawaii and beyond. We are one of the, I actually already shared that, Kalamai. In the past 3 years, we facilitated 19 professional development workshops for over 1,500 teachers in both public and private schools in Hawaii. Additionally, we're a Nohona Hawaii provider for the Hawaii Department of Education, which means that we're approved and preferred vendors capable of delivering services in Hawaiian language, Hawaiian knowledge, Aina-based education, and Hana no Eau. And I have one testimony before I pass the microphone on from a teacher that attended the March workshop that OHA helped to sponsor. I love this entire workshop series. Every single time we meet, I have aha moments. Feel proud of my goal to embrace the culture as a settler and feel more connected with this beautiful place. I found the cohesion I have been searching for. This made a major impact on me as a human, which will impact my teaching. Every time I learn more about Hawaii from Hawaiians, I get deeper in my understanding and relationship with the culture. This opened up a whole new world to me. When learning, I haven't had any depth in this. One area that didn't have any depth and knowledge was the fish pond. And we use the fish pond because we work in restoring fish ponds, and he'll talk about that. So we use that a lot as our metaphor in our PD workshops. And it really made him sad, this teacher sad, that he has this understanding now, but many of the people that he works with still don't. And so I wanted to mahalo all of you because when COVID happened, a ton of money came in to the schools, tons, millions and millions of money, and they're all gone now. And so for the first 3 years, we had schools going, I want a contract, you can buy your courses, we want your PDs. And then now it's like crickets because nobody has money. And so we're shifting gears and we're trying to figure out other ways that we can still provide these services with funds. So mahalo for listening to our story.
Aloha, OHA trustees. Thank you guys for what you do for our community, our lahui, our place. And I wanted to thank Brother Keone Souza, especially for the gauge of gold chain you get. The thing is super cool, bro. Super awesome. It's also the reason why I stood up because my name is Guy Hano Hano Naehu. Kia iloko. This is my beautiful wife, Maile. They call me the Paniolo Prince, Nahoku Hano Hano award-winning hip-hop artist and world record-setting Paniolo. And that's what I wanted, because of Keone, I wanted to show my bako. So let you guys know it's real. But today, we're not talking about me. This is not about me. I just want to give you guys an insight of, remember who you're talking to. I also mentored under Uncle Walt. So again, I call him but to all you Aina Momona guys, I was once you. This is what you can become once you pow. I graduated with my black belt in Aloha Aina from Uncle Walt. Happy to say the one, the only. So I'm here to represent Huio Kuapa. Huio Kuapa, a nonprofit organization founded in 1989 by Uncle Walt and some other visionary Hawaiians with the intent to restore Hawaiian fish ponds on Molokai. Since then, Huio Kuapa has rebuilt 4 fish ponds, and now we're on our 5th at Ohalahala in the Ahupua of Kumimi, Mana e Molokai. That is my Ahupua that I live in. That's where I come from. And thank you, Kai, for coming to Ohalahala. Maybe one day all you guys can come there because Ohalahala will be the best choral classroom on the planet when it's all said and done. We specialize in natural resource management, Ahupua restoration, and activism through art. Artivism. Our students range from the womb to the tomb. Huiokupa regularly services 3 of the 4 elementary schools, the middle and high schools, and the community college. We engage with and provide community with opportunities to work and contribute at the pond once a month. Outside of Molokai, we offer professional development and workshops for educators and community organizations. Since 2020, that is when I graduated from Aina Momona from Uncle Walt, and Uncle Walt gifted, I inherited Huiokupa. So Huiokupa has been around since 1989. It just got an upgrade in 2020. So since 2020, Huiokupa has created media resources that offer a virtual Aina-based experience, expanding our audience across the globe. These resources include projects such as the Molokai Nui Ahina Mural Project, a multi-generational mobile mural created by 19 keiki, 5 makua, and 5 master Kanaka Maoli artists. It is composed of 8 panels depicting over 40 mo'olelo of Molokai. We are currently creating mural prints for each school and a textbook with a full curriculum based on these mo'olelo. Nahulu Kupuna Project was a portrait and interview series with 15 hulu kupuna from Molokai. Ho'okupu, a hip-hop anthology of Hawaiian history, which we won a Nahoku Hanohano Award in 2023. It consists of an album retelling Hawaii's history through hip-hop and a teacher and learner resource guide. It is currently being used in over 12 schools and the UH College of Education. Kahale Ho'aka Explores TV series, an indigenous science YouTube series where I kind of like the Hawaiian crocodile hunter, but way more better. We work in partnership with groups and organizations such as the Department of Education, the Department of Aquatic Resources, Hui Malama Loko'i'a, Kuleana Coral, Pacific Remote Islands Coalition, the University of Hawaii, the Arizona State University, Loko'i'a Steering Committee, the Hawaii Council for Humanities. Before I finish and pass them to Jan, when I read off the names of who we collaborate with, no more oha. And so my suggestion, and I would like to influence you guys, we've become excellent at making the pono ono. I would encourage you guys to jump on this train in whatever way that may be. Because with or without you guys' help, we're going to do great things for Molokai, for Hawaii, for Alahui, and for our planet. So again, mahalo you guys for listening. And I'm glad I could make you guys giggle. And Aina Momona guys, remember, if I can do it, you can do it.
Thank you, Mahalo. I guess I was chosen to close this off. Aloha Aina Kaku. My name is Chantel Durua Lindo, and I am a lot of different things, but my role here today is to represent as the ho'okele of the newly formed Molokai Heritage Trust. I stand here before you today really proud of the way that our trust was formed. We started off basically hundreds of years ago with our kupuna, desiring to reclaim Aina that was not only being mistreated, but was needed to become a vital part of the foundational thriving and momona of our people. And so through every generation, our kupuna and our makua was picking up this kuleana and going and moving the ball forward every time. In 2017, Uncle Walter had a pivotal enlightenment, and I was laughing at the video because when they were showing all these great parts where Uncle Walter was standing up and raising his hand, they should have moved the camera a little bit to the right because I was sitting on the opposite side. me, along with a lot of people who now sit here, were sitting on the opposite side of the line. Each side believing that we were doing what was best for Molokai and allowing foreign interests and foreign agendas to separate our ohana and our island. And so we were tired of being token Hawaiians. We were tired of being pivoted against each other. And in 2017, when the ranch went up for sale, Uncle Walter came to me and said, let's figure out a way to unite our island. And that started us off on a very intentional trek to utilize the community in planning our future. And we realized that one of those plans, the missing part of those plans, was how we were going to get the land in ownership of the community in order to really not just be renting it and putting things on it, but really healing our eldest kupuna. And so we started to engage with the community. We sat down in a small group, which extended to a facilitator funded by the County of Maui, which was housed in Sustainable Molokaʻi for a time, and also helped to create their land back program within the organization. But ultimately, the community led this charge every step of the way. And what came about was an elected board and bylaws created line by line in over 600 hours of community engagement for us to formulate every single line of our bylaws. And our organization is set up in order to buy back all of the lands that community needs and essential lands that help us to restore it, to manage it, and to ensure that what is done on it is appropriate for our future. And we believe that by buying out and by removing foreign interests and agendas, and it's not just from one foreign interest, but from whatever foreign interest prevents us from best management practices, that we will have achieved a fully successful, complete structure that will benefit the world. Recently, Molokai gained and earned the prize for the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation Community Grant. We were the only one in the entire country to show how organizations like ourselves, 11 to be complete, that were working in different areas for community health. I think what we wanted to do today was show you that I'm pretty sure that you're used to individual organizations coming to you and pleading their case to tell you how they can help with one sector of the community. On Molokai, our plight is to unify and stand as a unified entity to show you how in collaboration, we are hitting every area of health in our community. This organization, though we have been able to kind of pull together people, is not the end. The Molokai Hunting Club, Pulama Lima and Nahulu, Maioho, different people like Mikiala and Keoki Paskaya. There are tons of organizations and people who are doing the work. And our aim is to gather everybody in their specialized area and not allow the colonized and Western system of segregation to any longer prevent us from the true Momona that we can achieve on Molokai. So today we're standing here before you, and I'm going to let Uncle just give the aloha at the end. But we're standing here before you united. We're showing you that the irresponsible and unwarranted picture that the media and other people paint out of Molokai being antagonistic, divided, not able to agree, and anti-everything is wrong. Although we use that as a way to be able to flex our muscle, the truth is that we are doing what we set out to do. And like Hano said, because you guys are also Kanaka and you love, I know that you love the Lahui and you want to do what is best. We're doing remarkable things. And we want you to be a part of what we're doing. As much as we could use your funding, I also believe that you could use us to help us pave a way to truly community-based organizing that can benefit our Lahui in ways that we could never do before. And so today we are grateful for the opportunity of you letting us do this. We are grateful for the opportunity of the open doors that this should create to talk story with us more in depth. And we are grateful that you can use Molokai as a pilot project to show the world what it's like when community really is in charge of their own destiny.
I don't know if you can top that, Uncle Walter.
No, 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 cannot. That's why I brought all these young guys over here. So, couple last comments. Luana, mahalo for fixing that office. It was beautiful. And it's wide open again. And I'm sure we're all going to be using that resources again. More importantly, my wife and I went outside to sit down and have lunch. And what we saw was really disturbing to us. For me, Kulano Iwi represents something that should be happening on every island, where all of the natural resources and the Hawaiian organizations can come to one place. And for us to be having this meeting up here, where the East End guy is going to have a hard time come to the meeting, and we already have a central area, but the central area is not good enough. Because when the wind blows, it comes into the, and if we don't have enough power over there for having like last minute videos that we want to send, the yard, we're ashamed of that yard. We have the kukuina trees, the 5 trees that are planted there, were planted to represent our kupuna. So I called the ex guy who takes care of the place before, Uncle Mickey, and he's going to go call the board, and he's going to tell them they're getting bad results, because we need to do with that whole place what you did to that office. And so that's why I wanted to bring that up right now. You know, so thank you very much for doing what you did. Other than that, any last comments? So thank you very much for the time.
We want to, our chair emerita wanted to say a few words.
Oh, Micah. Go get him,
Mahalo,
cousin.
mahalo. I'm just so overwhelmed at seeing all you folks getting together and unifying the leaders of this island. And you know, that's really, really important to OHA, because we do need your help. You know, one of the biggest problems that us Hawaiians have is we're not getting the fair share of the public land trust, and we need our people's help to get it. The legislature listened to us, go in one ear and out the other. And they just passed the bill, and before you know it, it dies. And for years and years, John's been on the board for 24 years. I've been on the board for 13 years. 13 years of fighting for that money. And if we could get that fair share, we could do so much more. Every community we go into, we need big money. You know, the money that you folks need, the help, we need that money. And we don't have that big enough money to help every single entity that asks us for money. So, I mean, we're not being unrealistic. We do have money, but we don't have money for everybody. And the only way we're going to get fair cash is through the public land trust, which we are entitled to. We're entitled to 20% of the monies that are collected by the state of Hawaii. In 2016, under Kamana'o, we did an audit of all the state agencies, and our share of that money was $79 million a year. And we're getting only 15.1 until 2 years ago, we got it raised to 21.5. So, I mean, 21.5 compared to 79 million is big bucks. So I'm just sharing the kind of help that we need from our lahui. They don't come to the legislature. They don't write letters. What can we do to encourage you folks to kokua us?
And when our chair says we and our, she means we and our, not just OHA. Every native Hawaiian beneficiary on this island and throughout this entire Aina is entitled to those public trust revenues. And it's about $60 million every year that gets taken away from our beneficiaries. And imagine if OHA was in receipt of that $60 million, what we could do throughout this by Aina. So, well, our state elected officials are very important in that process. And so her kahea is help us. When it's time for the legislative session, we need that political activism and engagement of our lahui. Uncle Walter.
So let me respond to that.
So on that note, Uncle Walter wanted me to add in that one thing that Aina Momona did this past year is we stopped Molokai Ranch from taking water from our Covella River. And that's one way I guess we could help with that, with the activism. Oh yeah. So the whole process in doing that, we had to do a lot of community outreach. We walked the whole Covella Ahupua to each house and we let them know what was going on. And sad to know that not a lot of them never even know what was going on. Yeah. They never even know that the ranch was taking water from the rivers. And then after we did the community outreach, we had how much times we had to go on top Zoom? Like 5 or 6 times for do testimony to the Water Commission. And took about 2 years, but after those 2 years and all that work, we actually got something accomplished and we stopped them from stealing water pretty much.
Mahalo. Well, part of that is not just you. Part of that is us, OHA, doing civic education through programs like hopefully our AHA OPO program that we're bringing back so that we can help educate the next generation of Aina warriors on our history and why we're here today and what we can do in the future to address many of those things that we talk about. So we have to do a better job, and we will do a better job here at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs on doing that, spending time in our communities and educating our lahui. Trustee Souza?
Well, Mr. Chair, for the Aina Momona guys, so I want to let you know, you might want to walk him to his car because I'm going to tax his belt buckle. No, in all seriousness, Mal for that, you got me giggling. But you know what, we're here to listen to you guys. We're not here to educate you guys. We're here to partner up, right? You guys got it figured out. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. And every time I come here, most especially out of all the islands, I know you guys are very, very passionate, right? And you guys know something that we don't because you guys live it, you guys breathe it. And honestly, Mr. Chair and then the board, I look forward to what you guys present in the future. And we'll respond, with that support. I can guarantee you that. Mahalo.
Thank you. Trustee Aquino?
Mahalo, Chair. Uncle Walter, so good to see you. We've gotten to know each other over the last decade, and I just have to tell you how much my respect and aloha for you have grown. And I hope our understanding for each other has grown as well. We don't pretend that we came from the same places in terms of philosophy or politics, but it's where we're going together. And just so proud to be here with Aina Momona. Mahalo for all you've shared. I've learned so much. One thing to bear in mind, we are not the leaders. OHA is not the leader of the Hawaiian people. We are the servants. Those of you who are out there every day in your activism, in your caring, in your malama aina, in putting forth the lahui in flesh and blood, you are the leaders. And so please keep coming. Please guide us as to how we can be the best servants. Mahalo. You are strong. You are proud. You show us what lokahi and aloha are. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Trustee Aquino. Trustee Akaka?
Well, yeah, I just wanted to
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
touch on what, thank you again. I think if there was an ask outside of money that came to my mind is that I know that you guys are always strategically planning how to help the lahui. One of the suggestions I have is that hopefully you guys will include us in those strategic plannings before you introduce it. Because planning times, what I witness is that we are trying to fit ourselves in your criteria and template in order to achieve our goal, and it just doesn't work out that way. It forces us to compromise in ways that we never intended, so we cannot become fully realized, right? And so I'm hoping that, like, when it comes to land purchasing and land back on Molokai, you talk to the Molokai Heritage Trust. When it comes to restoration, you talk to people like Aina Momona. When it comes to food sovereignty, you include Sustainable Molokai and the Hunting Club, and those kinds of things in initial conversations before the machine is created. And I think if we do that, not just on Molokai but throughout, it will really one, respect our island in the way that and give voice to the people who spend a lot of time on the ground, but also not just make it the typical conversation between you and us where you're saying yes, yes, I love it, but things are produced that don't speak to that integrity. And so I think that's just one thing I wanted to add, since you talked about, you know, you not being, you know, us having it thought out. But thank you.
So one last comment. When OHA first started, I remember the first meeting we went to was Senator Inouye. And he was like this. He only had one arm. He had him up there like this, and he was going, brown power, brown power. And we were young. I couldn't really understand what he was saying, but he helped create this office by supporting it. And everybody started to figure out, what the hell is this group going to do? Who are they? And the first meeting we had when we were all elected was to form committees. And we were forming committees. And I raised my hand, I said, I want to be on the chair of the culture committee. And they said, there is no such committee. And then right then I knew that OHA was going to be another state agency. But OHA does not have to be another state agency. They use the word quasi. We're a quasi agency. I think that's in the written explanation of who you guys are and who we are. So how do we define that? What the hell is a quasi state agency? Nobody knows. So to your point, the only reason we're such a state agency is because we need their money. So that's why we have to do what we gotta do. And people like us gonna have to support the efforts. Otherwise, we're not gonna get our 20%. But then we gotta start deciding, what the hell does quasi mean? You guys, the reason why we've been stuck in the mud is because the Hawaiians think you guys are something, and then you guys, part of the system, think you guys are something, and the thing not gelling. So we need to figure out through actions, what is quasi mean? So we're here to say we're all Hawaiian. This island, the majority of this island is the last island that the majority are Hawaiians. And the people here want to be Hawaiians.
Yeah.
And we need a Hawaiian agent.
Mahalo, Trustee Akaka.
Mahalo, Anakala. We are the fourth branch of government. That's what it is, the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. And we need to be collaborative with our community, because much of what we're doing is advocacy, county, state, federal. And we need, like it was mentioned earlier, we need the kako'o on this. We need the kokua kako'o collaborative efforts of our community to empower each and every one of us to fulfill that kuleana, to better the conditions of our Native Hawaiians. That is a mission. And our strategic plan, education, health, housing, economic resiliency. So going back to the funding that we are not getting, so just to give more of a fuller understanding to that, it was mentioned the 20%, right? Should be closer to 79 at the very base, whether you want to include inflation or not. So what we found with that audit, with the reports, it's on an honor system. The honor system, UH, military, DLNR, harbors, airports, etc. They're putting into what they believe they should be getting. So what that means is the state is getting whatever those entities believe they should be receiving, which is not the right amount. Should be in the billions. So therefore, the legislature, Uncle, as you know, decides how much we should be receiving, which is really closer to about 3 to 4, maybe 5% of that 20%. So the amounts that are owed to us never really go away, but it's up to them to release those funds to us and to up the amount that we should be getting annually. I personally do not care for that term, public land trust. That's why when we are advocating within the community and legislatively at all levels of government, I tell our teams, we must always preface it by referring to them as the native Hawaiian crown and government lands of our Hawaiian kingdom. As we know, the Hawaiian kingdom still exists. The government was overthrown. But this is semantics. But they want to call it the public land trust. So people feel that we Hawaiians are asking for too much. No, we're not. There is a kuleana that always exists. If you have our lands, you have the kuleana of us. So I say all this because, again, we need the kaka'o effort here when it comes to our legislative package that we introduce at the legislature, when it comes to advocacy, county, state, federal. We need you all by our side in this, because much of the government and our people do not have that understanding of what the law says with the Constitution, is that whenever it comes to our crown and government lands, Office of Hawaiian Affairs must be included in that conversation with the consultation, because we represent our Hawaiian people. So again, we need your kokua to go forward. And of course, I believe we can do this with aloha, when it comes to advocating as a people. But I really would like to see that all of you and those that stand alongside you and with you are active when it comes to our local office here and with our Oahu base as well. I would really be interested of all of our Pai'aina, as well as our people beyond our Hawaiian shores, to be activated and help us in what we have to do. So I ask that of all of you. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Trustee Akaka. Yes, yeah, go ahead.
I just want to add to that, since we're on the subject, is I just want you folks to know in the last legislative session, they asked the Office of Hawaiian Affairs to agree to a final settlement. Can you believe that? Final settlement? And I said, we're so flabbergasted. We told them, we cannot make that kind of decision for our future lahui. We don't have that authority. But what was important was I said, yeah, we can make a final settlement. Give us all back our lands and we lease it back to the state. Right? That's our lands. They stole it. So, I mean, we did tell them that, and they knew already that we were so far apart. I just wanted to share that we're fighting so hard so that they're backing off, we hope.
Mahalo, Chair. Before we go into Trustee Alapa and then wrap up this portion of it, I want to give our CEO a chance to aloha the group.
Oh, I was going to talk about the public land trust too. I was going to get on that bandwagon. Oh, I got lots to say about it. And if I may take a moment to talk about the public land trust, because I've been working very closely with Chair Emerita and Trustee Galutaria on the public land trust issue before us. So not only do we have an audit that says that the state takes in $400 million back in 2016, they're taking in $400 million of lease rent and fees based off of our kingdom, crown, and government lands. And we're, again, getting 21.5 million. But what's most important is, and to what Chair Emerita just said about the legislative session, we don't need another bill. We don't need another law on the books. We have laws on the books already that say this money, not only is the money ours, but the land inventory to get an accurate accounting of what the fair share is, what that 20% is on the books. So when we talk about advocacy, what we need to do going forward is enforce what is already law. We don't need another law, because every time we put legislation in, that's when we run the risk of a legislator inserting their manao and imposing what they want to do to us. And I say, I'll ole to that. No more. I think going forward, it's going to be, how do we hold the state executive branch accountable to have DLNR or budget and finance, whoever, they can pick whoever, but the law, Act 54 of 2011, you can look it up, it already says that a land inventory is due. 2011, it's way overdue. So let's hold them accountable. That's what we need to get together and say enough avoiding, enough delay. The law is clear. The Constitution is clear. There's no two ways about it. That's what I would love us to start coming together around. Because if you didn't pay your bills, if you don't follow the law, there's a consequence. The state government is not exempt from their own laws. So I feel like that's our path forward for sure. But with that said, mahalo. You guys are so inspiring. And you know what? You folks are just a reminder to us that we as Kanaka Oiwi, we know the answers. Many times we just got to remember. We got to remember what our kupuna did, and you guys are living it. You're reliving the remembrance. You are the answered prayer to our kupuna's dreams and hopes. So mahalo for just reminding us. And I think you guys are a model. And you know what? It happens across the Aina. There are a lot of Aina warriors and folks that are malaming across, the different communities, the different moku. And that's where OHA has an opportunity to continue to uplift that work. So when we think about what does regional governance look like for us, it's really the people saying, what do you need for your thriving lahui? And when I say lahui, it's in your neighborhoods, in your kaia'ulu. You folks know best. But collectively, we know. And so just mahalo. Again, I sit here and I just want to, every time you guys are doing your presentations, I just want to yell out, ew, ew. Yeah, I did it once, but it was a little bit quiet. But just mahalo, 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 mahalo for your inspiration, for a reminder of Kuleana, and just for making our kupuna so proud. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Stacy. All right.
Okay, no, I
Chair
just
Lapa.
wanted ditto all of that because she took the words out of my mouth for all of you. On behalf of Uncle Walter, I'm just amazed for all the work you've done, for the years of dedication, your passion. As we mentioned about the office is finally open. We have a place for you folks to meet. If you want to, please come. There's so much I want to hear about from all of you now that we have a beautiful environment. At the same time, for all of us to work together, that's what it's all about, collaboration. And this is beautiful to see. This is just crazy. I love it. And instead of just talk, let's get put into action. I thank you so much, you guys, for sharing your mana'o with us. This is just a beautiful thing, as I've said, and I hope to see more of this in the future. But I think, we had a beautiful morning together. I know we have more people that want to come and share their mana'o with us this morning. But thank you so much for sharing this with us. I appreciate it. I'm sure all of us do. Mahalo.
Any closing words, Uncle Walter, before we're going to move on to the next part of our agenda? And while you're thinking about that, we have, it's important to me that we just don't leave here and not know who you are, what your contact information is, your emails, like those relationships. We bring our staff here to do that. We have Koike right here, our Director of Housing and OEV Wellbeing. Yeah. All of our staff for our trustees, please raise your hand. Rochelle, Pohai, Kaveni, back there. Please go see them. Go see them. Staff, please go see them. Yeah. Get their contact information, get their numbers, get their email. Hano, I'd like your notes. I get one for you. I'll get photo. That's okay. We're going to make a copy.
No, I need one. Give me one.
OEV Wellbeing, Housing. Please go see Koike. We didn't just bring our team here to watch. We brought our team here to engage, capture information, develop relationships. So when we do look at our strategic plan, we know who to call. And it's not just call Uncle Walter. That's one call, but we want to make sure we call all of you as well. So staff, please do that while we move on to the next phase of our agenda, which is going to be our community concerns. So if we can take just 5 minutes and reset the room, and then we have a few people that have, well, we have the microphone over there. So let's do that. Let's reset how we were, and we're going to go to the last item on our agenda, but mahalo nui loa. And we'll do our community concerns, and then we'll adjourn our meeting, and then we can kuka for the rest of our time. Okay, we're going to move to the next item on our agenda, which is our last item. And that's going to be our community concerns and celebrations. Also want to, recognize and mahalo Milton with our Molokaʻi Community Health Center here. Thank you for coming yesterday and today. We really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to coming back to Molokai on August 9th, Saturday, for the blessing of the new dental clinic and other things that have been built there. So looking forward to coming back to Molokai then. Okay. I believe we have a few people signed up for community concerns, trustees. It's yours. And once we finish our meeting, then we can have kuka conversations. Okay? We're back. Okay, Lehua. Do we have anyone signed up to speak on community concerns?
Yes, our first speaker is Milton Cortez.
Okay, Milton. Trustees, Milton is with the Molokai Community Health Center. He's the Chief Executive Officer. It's one of the key health centers here on Molokai, along with Napu'uwai and Molokai General Hospital, now run by Queen. So,
thank you. Hi, good morning. Thank
okay,
you.
If we can bring the room to order, if you want to have side conversations, please take that outside. But we want to give Milton, who's been patiently waiting, his opportunity to address the Board of Trustees. Okay, Milton.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being able to present, and I am very inspired and learning the lessons from Molokai that we all do it together. So I have two quick stories for you. One is about, they're both about planning and planting. The first one is about planning. I want to share that we have outside forces that impact the resources of Molokai. One of them is going to be the Medicaid cuts that we're going to face in the next few weeks here. So I want to share with you some numbers. Part of the story is that there are about roughly 7,000 people living on Molokai. About 60% of those folks are on some form of Medicaid. So that's 4,200 people that are going to be impacted. Out of that 7,000 patients, people, 3,000 of those are my patients. And the percentage of that boils down to about 1,650 patients of mine that will be impacted by the Medicaid cuts. The proposed changes are going to be recertification. That means that right now people recertify once a year, and usually many drop off of the Medicaid rolls then. So the new rule change is twice a year people will recertify it. So that's a challenge that our folks that don't have internet access, our kapuna, people that have difficulty navigating government websites. And if you've navigated government websites, you know that that's really tough. So Out of that, there's also a workforce, or excuse me, a work requirement for able-bodied people on Medicaid. Those are people from the ages of 18 to 64. In my patient population, that's roughly about 400 people that will need to show that they've been working or are looking for work. Now, there are no 400 jobs on Molokai that could do that verification. So that's an actual number. I want to give you a couple of just 2 data points. 4 in 5 of that population are women. The average age is 41 years old, and 79% of that population has not worked within the past 5 years and have been actively looking for work. The end of that story is that potentially you can have an exodus of people leaving Molokai. And what we're doing now with our community partners, Department of Health, Molokai Health Foundation, we're planting information and planning so that we could put something together, get ahead of these cuts that will impact us over the next 5 years, and basically put something on the ground so that it grows for the community. So that's the first story. The second story is that I took over this position about a year ago, but prior to that, people have been planning on the retirement of our dentists. So 3 years prior to that, they sat down, some of the people that are here, they put together a plan, and they went to you, Congressman Kahele, and said, we're gonna have a problem in dental care on Molokai 2-3 years from now. You went ahead and provided them with support, financial support. So I'm here to report that 3 years later, on August 9th, we are delivering a dental clinic for the people of Molokai. We're opening 6 chairs. And here's what's really exciting for me is that we went ahead and hired a dentist to come and move and live on Molokai. So that's one thing. The other one is we opened a position for a hygienist. We were very competitive. That means that we paid a higher salary than usual for someone to come back to Molokai who just graduated from the dental hygiene program in Maui. So she is coming back with a very nice competitive salary. Better yet, she's bringing her fireman husband and child and live on Molokai. So just to give you another breakdown, we're also hiring 3 more positions, dental assistants and front office people. So collectively, there's about 6 or 7 jobs that we're creating on Molokai. The main part of the story is that bringing back a local person that grew up on Molokai has now a job and able to bring back her family to Molokai does meet with our mission. And also what it does is it creates an economic engine to reinvest back into the businesses on Molokai. So with that, I want to thank you. I want to invite you, all of you, August 9th to our grand opening, and please feel free to come and visit us.
Hold on, Milton. Hold on.
Oh,
Trustees, any questions? Thank you so much.
you're welcome. I have an infographic that you can
Sure,
share.
we would love to have that information. I will share it with our trustees. And Milton, please, we'll keep in touch, but let us know, once Congress figures out what the I don't even want to say the name for the bill.
I don't want
Whatever
yeah,
that
don't say-
thing
don't say
is,
it.
whatever it turns out to be, there seems to be heavy resistance in the United States Senate about the proposed Medicaid cuts that the U.S. House is proposing, and hopefully we have some rational United States senators on both sides of the aisle that can roll back some of those devastating Medicaid cuts that are going to affect so many people across this island and our state and our country.
Right.
So keep us informed of that, please.
Will do, and thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
Mahalo.
Thank you.
Okay, Lehua.
Our second speaker is Courtney DiMaggio.
Courtney. Aloha, Courtney.
I hate coming to these things, and the only reason why I started to come was because of Auntie Irene Kahanui. she calls and calls like, you gotta show up to Oha meeting. It's gonna be on this date, this time, show up. I said, Auntie, what for? They don't listen. They only come because they gotta come. That's part of their fiduciary duty. So why we going to go? So because you gotta talk, you gotta make them listen. I said, Auntie, they would rather hear your voice than mine. And she told me, but we're not gonna always be here. She not. She usually sitting in the back with her own table, with her own mic, but she never ever gonna come back again. She went home, she fought a good fight, she ran her good race. So that's why I come now. Like it took me from Monday to build up to enter this room without her sitting there. Like, or even the phone call, like, babe, you better be there, man. You better be there for Ohami because she's no longer here. She's just one of Kupuna that fought. And we continue to fight for long-term care facility. We continue to fight for that because that's one more kupuna that was trying to fight for and now is no longer here. So I work for Department of Health, it's a state agency, but we do things non-officially so that we can do stuff that we're supposed to do, so that we can actually help our community to move forward. Because with state agencies, you gotta go through everybody from the top, and by the time we get to the top, no can do nothing. So we find a way around it so that we can actually push out what we gotta do. We work with our community partners, we work with our community to find out how we can move forward. And I appreciate Aina Momona like coming together as a hui because we need them, we needed to fight. Milton was talking about demographics. I'm gonna tell you right now, the demographics is slowly changing. We have more people coming in that are not from here, that are moving here because they visited before, they love this place, and so they end up moving here. So it's slowly changing. We are still prominent, Native Hawaiians are still prominent here, but the demographics, I'm telling you right now, is slowly changing. So when we're looking for kupuna, a long-term care facility for kupuna, we can easily go outside and ask a long-term care facility to come here. But how they run is you have to have paying people. And I just gonna give you an example. If we have 20 beds, I can almost guarantee you 18 of those beds gotta be paying kupuna, paying out of pocket. And it's like $20,000 a month to run one long-term, $20,000 a month for a resident to pay in order to be cared for in a 24-hour long-term care facility. Only two of our kupuna are probably going to be able to be in that facility if we use the same kind of model that's being used right now. Our kupuna, the only reason why I say two kupuna, our kupuna, they may have savings, that savings going to deplete real fast. So what will happen is they will be eligible for Medicaid coverage. Medicaid will pay for that. But because Medicaid reimbursements are really poor, we're going to have way more paying people to be in those beds. So that's why we never push to go outside to see if a long-term care facility could come. We're still stuck, like needs have been met in different facets of what issues that we have here. We've have more providers here, like the dentists are coming, but long-term care hasn't been met for a long time, over 2 decades. So over the span of those decades, you know how much kupuna died off island? And I think I gotta make it clear that when we have to send our kupuna off island to live in long-term care facilities, care homes off island, that's taken away from all your island, your kupuna that could be in that bed. They ended up going over there. So I know last night they talked a lot about kalaupapa. So what we're doing right now, today's age, we're doing them in reverse. We taking our kupuna from the home that they built, they made, we're taking them out from their home and we isolating them on a different island by themselves. Family cannot go visit them all the time. So what happens? They deteriorate faster. And that's like, we see the people, the kupuna that's in the home. And we do have, like, I appreciate all the providers that are here. We have providers that from off island that are here a couple of days a week. I appreciate them because our people are being seen. But we also have a provider that has been here on island, started as a respiratory therapist, went to school, became an RN, and now he's an APRN. And he started his own practice on his own. No more money from nobody. No more county money, no more state money. And that's Dino Akai. The last time I did one home visit to Kupuna's house was with Dr. Aluli until Dino started his practice. Dino actually goes out, comes with me to Kupuna's to visit them in their home, because when Kupuna are at that stage of dementia, they're not going to go to their appointments. They forget. And that's how come the last time when I went out with Dr. Aluli, that's how come he came, because I needed help with one of the kupuna. And so he came. Dino is now helping us to do the same thing. And but again, I'm so grateful for the ones that are here and that are continuing to see our people, even if they don't live here full time. But last night you heard a lot about a lot of us wearing different hats, and that we get penny kuleana. But and we own that kuleana because we're part of this community. The community, when we help raise us, we won't give back. What we need help with is having creative ideas, and I'm gonna come to you guys again, creative ideas about how to sustain one long-term care facility. Because we're not going to get state money. We're not going to have, the federal is just shot. So we're still trying to figure out how to meet the needs of our kupuna, so that at least kupunas that going to need the care going to actually have some place to be cared for. I gotta say, mahalo to Trustee Alapa, mahalo to Trustee Souza, Pohana Ferreira, because I have to eat my words when I said that Ohana listen. Because when you guys came back in the fall, and I was happy to hear that you guys actually was listening, and that you heard Auntie Doreen, you heard people wanting the long-term care and leading it. So mahalo for that. You and humble me, because you guys made me eat my words that you guys no listen, but you guys actually listen. So I was happy to actually, I was happy to hear that you guys listen and you guys were trying. But I do recommend, if that happens again, you include those that actually doing the work, that live here, that shop in our stores, that actually have to figure out how we surviving every day. Because people that fly here, serve, they go back to wherever they go from. They don't gotta struggle for see how much stuff costs, and if we can afford it for the next paycheck. We have people in this community that actually are providers. I remember going to the store when Dr. Thomas was still alive, was talking story, and here comes his client talking to him while he's trying to shop, and he will stop. And we have those providers right now that have that conversations. So next time that kind of stuff happens, talk to the people that actually doing and serving in this community, because they're going to tell you the truth. They're going to understand, they're going to make you understand what the challenge is, but there's also opportunities for us to grow and learn more, so how we can work together to move things forward. So thank you.
Mahalo. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Kilahua.
Our last speaker is Keo Mailani. Hanapi Hirata.
Aloha, Kio Mailani. Mahalo for joining us again.
Aloha Aina Kako. My name is Kelmailani Hanapi Hirata, and I am was asked to come and share in the community portion from the Ohanas from East Molokaʻi and the west side of our island. For too many years, way too many years, the Office of Hawaiian Affairs holds their meetings here at Lanikeha. Our Kuleana landowners are generational people and families who have come from Molokaʻi in its sense. They live on the east side. The people who are on the front line setting case law and native gathering rights, in Kuleana landowners, the ones who are fighting on these land cases, they're out there. All the people with that place-based, Aina-based knowledge. Not to say that our people who live up here isn't important, but they like share their stories too. The west side of Molokai just started their own hui because too many things are happening on the west side and too many people are making decisions for them. So they would like you folks, both sides of our island, for you guys to start think creatively. Either hold a meeting in central Molokai at Kulano Iwi, like Uncle Walter just went share, how we utilize that space for our people, or go to different other areas, east, west, and hold the meeting so you can feel the mana of those people, because nobody else can speak for them, only they speak for themselves. That is cultural protocols. So that's all I have to say. And I wanted to say one other thing. I feel very kaumaha because I was sitting here and wanting to listen to all of you folks and listen to this meeting. You guys come once a year to our island and share. But a staff member came over here and pulled me out of this meeting to set up a meeting with them. And I'm going, do you not realize that you guys come once a year to Molokai? I like sitting here, I like support our people. Aina Momona, MHT, SM, everybody who came, Department of Health or Community Health Center, but I pulled outside to make like I was wrong because she wanted to argue with me. This is one meeting that you guys come for us as the people. I don't think that that was pono, and I needed to share that with you folks. I also want to mahalo Kuike and Stacy and the organizations that they do, Kamakana Ferreira, Uncle Kai Markel, everybody who I get on speed dial, because I am one person who loves to stay in my own lane, 100%. I believe that everybody has good mana'o to share who's a part of the team. So if someone tells me, Kale, if you have one concern, this is who you talk to, I am going to only talk to those people. So compliance at OHA, they answer my call, they answer my text messages, they answer my emails all the time. So I mahalo them and I aloha this new department that Kuike is the leader of, or, it's a kako effort. But it has done a lot for us on Molokai in the short time that it was formed. And that I appreciate. So mahalo, you guys.
And we do value your input and your feedback, so thank you. Okay, we are moving on to announcements, and we're almost done concluding our Board of Trustee meeting here on Molokai. And so the chair would just like to mahalo nui all of our trustees that were able to make it to Molokai and for spending time with us. I would like to also mahalo to Trustee Alapa and her staff for coordinating and putting this year's site visit and meetings together here on Molokai, as well as the office blessing yesterday. Kapohana, I'm assuming between now and next year, obviously we'll be coming back at some point for our mea ae mana'o.
Yes.
When do you think timeline for that would
We
be?
will have to schedule with Trustee Alapa fall.
In the fall, okay.
Because it gives us time to circle back. Well, first off, get all of the feedback that we've heard today. And then we circle back with the stakeholders on island, to make sure that we're addressing the concerns. And
Okay.
then we schedule a time to come.
Great. So I will personally be coming back, maybe with a trustee that might want to join me for the August 9th blessing of the dental clinic. And then at least 2 trustees, because we are subject to the state sunshine law. But as many staff as possible can come to the mea ae and mana'o.
It just has to be agendized. Yeah.
Oh, we can all go. Mea ae mana'o. Is that correct?
Mea ae mana'o is meant to be a little bit more informal, kuka kuka.
Yeah.
And providing updates versus this more structured, kind of board meeting. But you guys the boss, so
Yeah. Well, in any case, the point is we're coming back before the end of the year, and we look forward to meeting with you in whatever setting and forum that provides us. And so, mahalo to all of you for coming. We sincerely appreciate it. Mahalo to all of our hardworking staff that made this Molokai site visit possible. We will be headed to Kauai next to join our trustee Dan Ahuna in the month of July. And so we are looking forward to that as well. And with that, I'd like to request
So
an
moved.
adjournment. Okay, we have trustee Souza, motion to adjourn, seconded by our trustee from Molokai Alapa. Oh, you gonna move? Oh, you did move. Okay, we had two moves here. But if we hear no objections from our trustees, Lehua.
Trustee Ahuna is excused. Trustee Akaka. Trustee Akina.
I and aloha.
Trustee Alapa. Trustee Galuteria is excused. Trustee Lindsay. Aye. Trustee Souza.
Aye.
Trustee Waihe'e.
Yes.
Chair Kahele.
Aye.
You have 7 yes votes. We are adjourned.
All right, safe travels home, everyone. Mahalo.